Usually the queen is considered to be approximately equal to a rook, a bishop, and a pawn, and slightly better than a rook, a knight, and a pawn. But in most of the cases, small nuances are what decide the game. If the pieces are not well coordinated, the queen is very powerful, very mighty, and capable of winning all the pawns on one flank. And the game, like it was in this case, the game is Murzevich against Anastasian. Using the weak back rank, black is first of all winning the queen with rook to e8. So after bishop takes f6, nothing changes. Queen takes e8, knight takes e8, rook takes e8, king h7. As white's pieces are still discoordinated, one threat is queen to c4, which will attack the bishop and the pawn. Another threat is queen to d5, which will attack the back rank and the pawn on a2 as well. And there is nothing that white can do to prevent this, so he would be losing very soon the pawn. Murzevich tried to defend in a different way. He took on f6. Now after rook takes c7, he takes with the bishop, and at least he's willing to bring the bishop on a3 and to try to defend the queen side. But unfortunately for him, this doesn't work, as after queen d5, the queen is just winning the pawn on a2, or the one on b2, or maybe both of them. Because now if we move like a3, then queen is coming on d2, and the rook alone can do nothing to defend the pawn on b2. Say rook b1, queen c2, and one of these is gone, and soon after the other one. After b2, there will be these two weaknesses cannot be defended, and then the bishop would be alone in the defense. Say bishop b4, and now the easiest is going to be queen b3 followed by queen a4, then a5. The bishop will have to abandon the good position. The queen will come back on b3 and take the pawn on c3 most likely, or the other one if the bishop goes to defend the one on c3. In this line, if white defends with a move like b3, there is an immediate double attack. Queen to d2, actually triple attack. Immediately white is losing material. And what he tried in the game, actually he didn't try bishop a3, but bishop a3 also will lose after a5, h3, and preparatory move like king h7, intending queen d2 followed by b4 to either trap the bishop or to win the pawn on b2. There is no defense against this plan. King h7 was needed to avoid the check on a8 followed by rook b8, and to not to allow white to coordinate his pieces. And finally, what happened in the game was that on move number 25, Murzevich played h3. He opened some air for the king. Now he's giving the pawn on a2, and then he's hoping to create some fortress on the queen's flank with the bishop on a3, but instead of taking that pawn, Anastasian takes the more important one on b2. Rook e3 check. He takes that pawn. The one on f2 is now hanging, and the one on a2, so he's taking two pawns, and this is enough for him to win the game. Queen takes f2, bishop c5, check, a5, bishop d4, f6, and Murzevich resigned. There are many winning plans. The simplest is probably just to improve the position of the king a bit, and then to start advancing the pawns on the king side, where black is having majority. One of the pawns can go on g3, and then black will be combining mating threats on the king side with material gaining threats on the queen side.